probably my second time recording an intro. So if some of the stuff is repeated, I do apologize. I am still learning this stuff. This is only like my third video actually trying to do stuff for YouTube and not TikTok. I'm trying to get away from TikTok. It's getting frustrating. But today I'm going to be doing the lower control arms, putting the new knuckles with drilled inside of rotors on so I can get the car onto the ground. Please watch the video all the way through, even if it's just background noise. It helps me if you guys watch it all the way through. I'm trying to keep them entertaining. This one honestly might be a little bit boring because it's not, a super cool thing that's getting done. But if you guys could please just follow all the way through, like, subscribe, and leave me a comment, that would be super appreciated. I am doing my best, and leave any comments for tips or anything like that. I am open to the criticism. Obviously I'm very new and I'm just kind of doing my best, so if you guys bear with me, help me out, I appreciate it. Picked up some control arms because obviously I don't have any, and these rotors are pretty old, crusty, and busted. So these are used junkyard parts, but it was a pretty good score, I feel like, with some drilled and slotted rotors, and the brake pads on these actually look pretty decent. And then obviously LCAs, because there are no LCAs, and buying tie rods is not very expensive, so I will end up getting those brand new. Everything's a hammer. I do have a hammer just right there on the side of the car too, but that requires me to have to get up, and I'm not doing that right now, so. Those were all 17s. See, these are pretty old and crusty and gross, so I am going to keep it just so that I can cut and modify these knuckles. And just for anyone who does not know, cut and modified knuckles, you cut this. Basically, I'm going to cut right here, and then re-weld it right here. I will build a jig later, and I will show how to do that so you can keep your Ackerman angle as close as possible to the exact same, and that just gives you a ridiculous amount of lock and angle, especially with cut and extended LCAs. Cut and extended LCAs, you cut this guy right here, and or well, you can just make one cut in the middle if you wanted to, I guess, and then you just extend it however many inches or millimeters, whatever you want to do. I do 2.5, maybe 3 is what I normally do. I think I'm going to do 3 this time. So yeah, that's one off. I will take that apart later. I have to make sure I have the socket here, or if I have to go to my storage and dig through my toolbox there. But that's where we're at. So and also, because I wasn't able to find the chassis bolts that go for the LCA bushing to the chassis, so I had to go buy some. And if anyone is wondering or is having trouble, because I spent a lot of time trying to figure it out, and it took me forever. There was a whole bunch of trial and error. The ones I ended up buying were M10 by 1.5. I went by 30. I am hoping these are long enough. I have not fit them yet. I was trying to wait so I could record it for everything. But so far they do fit and they thread in perfectly fine. I'm just a little bit worried about the length, honestly. Hopefully it is correct. But they were $4 at auction, so if they are wrong, it's not a big deal. I can very easily fix that. Alright, so I'm going to try and do this as one whole piece. I'm going to start with mounting the subframe bolt first, and hopefully that will hold it enough to where I can wiggle it and get the 2 back ones in, and then I will do this last because it'll be held up by everything else. So this is a 13/16. I'm not sure what it is in millimeter. I've made the mistake of letting people borrow my tools a lot, so I'm missing a lot of stuff. And I'm not worried about figuring out the conversion between standard and metric. So First step is I'm going to try and get this guy up in here and get that at least bolted up. I am fortunate enough to not have the motor in the car right now, which makes things a lot easier because I tried to do this with the motor in the car and it did not go very well at all. That was a nightmare. And I might have to separate these. Okay, so hopefully this will work properly. Oh, this is kind of one of the harder parts about doing everything by yourself. You gotta figure out how to do it all by yourself. So, alright, so I am going to just separate these. That was a little bit sketchy, trying to do it by myself. Why make it harder than it has to be? And I guess doing it this way is nice because once you get it separated once, hopefully it won't be so hard next time. And seeing as I plan on taking this apart in 2 weeks anyways, it'll be alright. Remember to always put your nut on the top so you don't mushroom your threads. That would suck. When I do get these extended though, I do plan on replacing the bushings. The E36 bushings are non-serviceable, but you can buy the bushing at AutoZone. I believe it's $35 for the ball joint. I keep saying bushing, my bad. For the ball joint, it's like $35. So now that that's separated, I'm going to slide this into its home. The wrong one. It was. It works a lot better when you get the right size nut on the bolt. So there, that is at least snugged. And now for the moment of truth to see if I got the correct size for the controller bushing bolts. Now I am going to use a ratchet on these, and they are 17 millimeter. The replacement ones I bought are 17 millimeter, as well as factory is 17 millimeter. You do want these torqued down to 35 foot-pounds, but seeing as mine are not staying on here long term, and it's just to get my car rolling as much as possible, I'm just going to snug them down. Don't come at me in the comments with my 30 followers talking about how I need to torque stuff down. It's just going tight enough to be able to move the car as needed. Well, and this ball joint is toast. So that ball joint needs to be replaced regardless, because it is just spinning with the ratchet. We'll see if the impact will sink it down a little bit at least. Good enough for now. So there's the LCA on. Now time for the rotor. Alright, I always kind of struggle with this a little bit doing it by myself, so we'll see how it goes. I dropped earlier and messed up the dust shield, so that's great. But pop that on there. Doing stuff with ball joints kind of sucks sometimes. That's on there just enough to hold. And now, okay. Give that one a little bit of help to get through. There we go, that's one on. These backs are always a pain. You have to get that little, I don't know if you want to call it stud, but that stud to line up. There we go. The good thing about not having tie rods or anything is I can spin this or twist it. And these are also 17, I believe. Nope, I lied. They are 18. Wouldn't it be nice to have this kind of angle? So the car is now on the ground on all four wheels instead of being on a jack stand on the front. So I'm very, very excited about that. Like I said earlier, I still need to get some tie rods, inner and outer, because the wheels just kind of spin, like turn freely on their own when you try and move it. But it's that much closer, and that much closer makes me that much more happy. So on its own wheels, nothing matches, but everything is sort of junkyards and marketplace. So taking the baby steps that I can. Baby steps are still steps, and having the drilled and slotted rotors on there makes me pretty happy. So there's a plus. So I said it before and I said it again, I'll say it again. Thank you guys for the ones that watched this all the way through, and I appreciate that very much, because that puts me into the algorithm. Also, thank you for the ones who comment and subscribe. I know it's slow now, but if you just be patient with me, this will gain traction as I start getting more parts and start getting the bigger things done. So again, thank you. Please leave a comment. I will react and comment back to everything, or give me ideas of things that you'd like to see, so I can make sure that I'm doing stuff that people actually enjoy. If you have questions on bolt size, if you have questions on torque specs, if you have questions on any of that stuff, I've got it all down. I've got my Bentley manual, so I can look it up if I don't already know it. And thank you for watching. Thank you for following.